Hello everyone, welcome back to the Sly Cooper Wiki. My name is Trev, your usual host, and today we have another look at the Sly Collection. Now, we've already seen the North American version, which in case you haven't seen, there will be a link in the description. But today we are also looking at the French-Canadian version. So if you haven't seen our video on the French-Canadian Sly 3 version, I suggest you watch that first to get a better idea of what we're looking at. Now, this French-Canadian Sly Collection is a little different than the French-Canadian Sly 3 version, and you'll see why throughout this video. At first glance, both the English-only and the English-French versions are the same, and for those of you who don't know, the French-Canadian versions do come in both English and French. They have all of the text of the English version and then French translated directly beneath each of those English lines. So in terms of content on the box and in the manuals, you're getting all the information just in two languages. And looking at the front, we see that there aren't really many differences here. The only difference that I was able to discern was a minor font change in the remastered and high definition statement. They seem to be using different fonts here for whatever reason, but other than that, both of these front covers are identical. Moving to the spine, and we see nothing too interesting here. The spines are identical. Really nothing to say. They don't have a French translation or anything like that. They just have all the same information conveyed in these same spots. Moving to the back, and you'll quickly notice that we have a very, very crowded back thanks to all of that French that has to accommodate the English text. There's quite a lot of French because there's quite a lot of English text, and as I mentioned before, they do place it directly next to or beneath its respective English lines. So there's a lot of text to read here, but if you've already read the English version, then the French version is just the same. So it's cool to see the text here, but in terms of new information, there's nothing really here. Moving to the inside, and we see that both discs are identical. There's no French on the French-Canadian Sly Collection disc. It's all English, and it's all the same identical English as is on the English-only disc, so both of these discs are presumably identical, so not really much to say here. The manuals are a little bit different. You might recall in our Sly 3 French-Canadian unboxing that there were two booklets, one in English and one in French. The Sly Collection, on the other hand, packages both the English and French in to one book. Now, luckily, unlike the front and back covers, the English and French are not directly next to each other. The first 23 or so pages are actually just the English manual, and then directly after that is the French manual. So it's all in one booklet, so it does feel like a bigger manual and does add a little bit of weight to the box compared to the English-only version. But again, in terms of information, there's nothing really to say here. They convey the same exact information, just in two different languages. The French-Canadian manual includes a note section at the very end, for whatever reason. This isn't present in the English-only version, but I'm not really sure who takes notes in their manuals, but it's there if you are interested. One other minor difference I do want to point out is the fact that on the English version we have a Sly insignia on the back of the jacket, so we can see that right here, but you've probably already noticed this by now. The French-Canadian version has no such thing. There's just a plain white background on the back of that front jacket, so it's fairly uneventful. This has probably been one of the more uninteresting unboxings, to be quite frank. Other than the big booklet that you get, everything here is the same, just in two different languages and pretty much crammed together. So not much to say here, but I did want to bring it to your attention in case you were curious. If you were interested in picking up these copies for whatever reason, specifically the French-Canadian version, the main indicator that it is both English and French is the translation of the ESRB logo. You should be seeing that in both English and French, and you should also be seeing the statement remastered and in high definition in both languages as well, in case you are on the lookout for this particular copy on the used market. And with that said, that brings us to the end of this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, this fairly straightforward video, definitely do leave a like. If you want to see more of this kind of content, though probably a bit more interesting than this, definitely subscribe, and as always, let us know if you want us to unbox something sooner rather than later, and let me know what your thoughts were on this French-Canadian version. Again, this wasn't quite as interesting as the Sly 3 version, as well as the upcoming Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus, but it is a French-Canadian version nonetheless. As always, this has been your host, Shrev, of the Sly Cooper Wiki, your #1 resource for anything and everything Sly Cooper. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video.